if you make up a plan that's not realistic to your lifestyle, you're never going to stick to it. Because of the job and kids, it was hard to just have one-to-ones in there. So I decided to expand into the online world. Took up a business course and a coaching course to help me do that. And yeah, the sort of rest is history, really. It's going well. I've had lots of clients come through. I've had some good feedback. And now I'm just sort of working on expanding the business. My work capability is increased and I'm able to deal with more and I'm quite comfortable. And now I've got all my systems in place and I'm in more of a routine with things. I'm ready to expand a bit more.
Hi and welcome to the Breakout Business Podcast, the small business podcast for small businesses. Now today we've got a very special person in who has built his business not just around a family, but around courses, learning the business, what he's doing, and do you say 48 hours a week job?
Yeah, I do 4 12-hour shifts a week of engineering alongside my 2 kids and build my business.
Yeah, so he doesn't sleep, but we'll come on to that. So welcome, Karl, who's PT, local PT to us. And you've been doing it for how long?
I started building the business in March last year. So it was actually a year ago. I started building the online business on the 1st of March.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, so...
Oh, so exciting. And you've managed to do it. So tell us your story. Why did you decide, right, I'm going to become a PT?
So I was in the military for 8 years, and before I joined the military, I didn't really have anything to do with fitness. But I sort of fell in love with fitness during the military. Really got into it there, and when I left, I decided that's what I wanted to do. So I left the military and carried on doing my engineering career, but also decided to do a PT qualification whilst doing that. So I started my PT qualification in 2020. And from then on, I started training some people from home. So friends and family with some equipment I built up. I was in the lucky position that we made a bit of money selling our house, bought a new house, and I built what was meant to be a half garage, half gym on the side of it. And it's now just a full gym.
Just gym.
Full gym. Yeah. And then I've now had that registered as a commercial gym so I can legally train people from it. And yeah, then I decided, because of the job and kids, it was hard to just have one-to-ones in there. So I decided to expand into the online world. Took up a business course and a coaching course to help me do that, which I started on the 1st of March last year. And yeah, the sort of rest is history, really. It's going well. I've had lots of clients come through. I've had some good feedback. And now I'm just sort of working on expanding the business. And the goal would be to be full-time, one-to-one and in person. In person and online from home.
Nice. And how do you, when you say registered the business as a commercial gym, what does that mean?
So,
what do you have to do? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that...
Yeah, so when I was looking up about training people from your house, I don't think you can just, you have to look into your house insurance and the council and different things before you can just start paying people to train from your house. So I wanted to do it properly. I didn't want to start it up and get in trouble with any council or authorities for not doing it correctly. So what you do is, when you do a planning permission, you can do a change of use form. So I changed the use of my garage from a garage to a commercial gym.
Okay.
And they've come round, they've assessed it, they've accepted that. And so now I can sort of legally run business from it without worrying about it not being...
Know what people do with Airbnbs, if they're Airbnbs.
Yeah, so I think, if you're working from an office from home, it's okay.
Yeah.
If you're physically got people coming into your house, because of things like health and safety, risk assessments and all that, you've got to ensure that it's a good space and it's got everything that you need.
Yeah.
So we're all clear on that front for now.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
And you've done courses, you've done several courses. So has that all helped with that, or doing your research?
I did my level 3 personal training course, and then moved on and did level 4. There's always room to improve a personal training, like any business, so you can never stop learning. So I joined a company called CCB, which is a coaching concierge build, and they help you build your business online. So I had someone to help me with my social media, my marketing, my sales, just overall starting up and running a business. And I also joined someone else. They actually run the same business, called the Complete Coaching Academy. And they go through advanced coaching. So rather than just stopping at level 3, you work with coaches, and every week, like 1 week, every day of the week, there's a separate call. So Mondays will be nutrition, like Tuesdays will be program design, Wednesdays like exercise mechanics and anatomy, Thursdays like female physiology, and also there's lots of different sort of subjects you can go through on their website. And any sort of issues you've got, you can, with clients or your business, you can take to more advanced coaches and they'll advise you on how to get over that. So I've been with them a year now as well. So I've just been sort of advancing my knowledge as much as I possibly can, and taking any client case studies I need to them, and just expanding my knowledge as much as I can, really. Because my main goal is not to just say, here's a meal plan, here's a gym plan. I want to actually help people and take the holistic approach where we look into people's stress, people's sleep, people's habits, because it's all about what you do outside the gym as well as just inside the gym. So that's the sort of approach I'm trying to take with people.
Yeah, and I think people nowadays, everyone wants a shortcut.
Yeah.
So everyone wants a 6-pack in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to starve myself and do loads of sit-ups, and hopefully I'll get a 6-pack, which is not going to happen, but still. So it's quite refreshing. And I've seen I do sports, I run and do boot camps and stuff. So my algorithm does feed me quite a lot of that bits and pieces from PTs and online coaches. But it's interesting because I get a lot of the adverts come up for exactly that. Like, all right, you can look like this in 4 weeks. Right. Okay. Well, I know I'm not going to be able to. So what's your strategy? How are you targeting different people? What's your strategy?
So I try and target sort of real people and help them to get real results. So as an age gap, I suppose, I sort of try and cater mine to people I can relate to. So I sort of aim between sort of like 25 to 45-year-olds, because I'm sort of in the middle of that now. I'm going to be 35 this month. And people that, run normal lives, they have kids, they have jobs. You don't have to have those things, but just people that live a busy lifestyle and want to try and fit fitness into their lifestyle in general.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a lot easier for someone that's got all the time in the world to get them results. Whereas I tend to, every plan I do is individual.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, if someone's interested in my coaching, we'll get them on a call and we'll work it around their lifestyle. Because what I say to them is, if you make up a plan that's not realistic to your lifestyle, you're never going to stick to it.
Yeah.
So if you've only got, say, 3 hours spare in a week and you're like, I'm going to go gym 6 days a week, it's not going to happen, is it?
No.
So we want to make the workout plan realistic. We want to make the nutrition plans realistic. And we tend to build on things bit by bit. So I do weekly check-ins with my clients. So the first week we'll start off really, really simple, and because you don't want to overwhelm someone with all this information. And then each week we'll have something else to work on, and we'll build on that slowly, bit by bit over time. And we can slowly improve those habits, slowly improve those techniques, slowly improve that nutrition, and sort of get them to where they want to be.
And is that working on do they come to you with specific goals, or I just want to get fit, or?
Again, this is something we usually establish in the call. I usually say, what's your goal? And then I usually try and find out why that's their goal, because if you haven't got a reason behind why you want to achieve something, you're probably not going to have the self-drive or motivation to get there. You just saying to me, I want to lose 20 pounds. Why? Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? It's just, it's just something to do. Yeah. If you've got like a holiday or a wedding, or it's for a fitness goal or a health reason, or you've got something motivating that. And sometimes people don't know what that is. So I try to sort of get that out of them and get a set plan in place of why we want to do something, how we're going to get there, how long it's going to take us. We break it all down, and then we sort of work on it from there and work out a plan together.
Yeah.
And I say to people, if you've got events coming up or something coming up that might throw you off track, if you let me know a week in advance, we can then plan that in without you going off track. Because you still want to enjoy yourself. People think that if you're going to be losing weight, you can't go out and enjoy yourself, you can't go out and socialise, you can't eat the food you want, but you certainly can. Yeah. You've just got to be smart about it, plan in advance and work them into your routine, so you can still get the results you want. It's just going to take that bit more planning and discipline to get there.
Yeah. And it's the moderation thing as well, of just like, okay, we can't. I see a lot of it come up where you've good all week, Monday to Friday, and then just everything goes to shit the weekends.
So I did a really good reel on this a little while back. I actually reposted it the other day, because it sort of shows people that if we use like simple numbers, if you're eating 2,000 calories a day to lose, and that's your deficit and you're losing weight, if you're sort of 200 calories a day below your maintenance calories over 5 days, that's 1,000 calories you've lost.
Yeah.
If you then go and eat 2,000 calories in the weekend, you're now in 1,000 calorie surplus. So you've just undone the 1,000 calories you've lost and added an extra 1,000 calories on top. So it's all about consistency. And this is where we look at different methods that we can sort of implement to keep this consistency going while still doing the things we love.
Yeah. And do you find, is that then the feedback with the weekly calls check-in, you get the feedback both ways? Because I just decided at the beginning of this year, right, I need to sort my life out. Just started eating properly rather than just because I don't have no time, so I just will grab crap, of course, convenience food. So then you feel like crap because you're eating crap, so you're lethargic. So I wasn't getting up for my runs, so it was just ended up being a vicious cycle. So I'm a believer of eating properly, whole foods, everything. You feel better, and in my head, without really trying, just tweaks, I lost like 4 pounds in a month. But it was the gradual thing. So do you find that then people will every week, that's where the calls come in? So the client's like, oh my God, this like, some people, I'm guessing it's going to be a bit of a like light bulb moment, and others are.
Yeah, so everyone progresses at different rates. And some people find it easier implementing new habits. Some people find it more difficult. I might have someone that is with me sort of 3 months and might lose like 11 kilos. I might have someone with me 3 months and lose 3 kilos. It all depends on how ready they are to change and how easy they find to implement the habits and stick to the things they do. But this is why we sort of break it down piece by piece. So we'll work on what we think is going to work better for them. Again, everyone sort of works differently in the way they learn and think about things. So you have to sort of take a different approach to every individual.
Yeah. And do you work with, so you'll have the standard people of like, right, I want to lose weight or I want to get fit. Do you help people if they want to do certain competitions or events? Or
yeah, it all depends. I've had people that want to come and run like half marathons, or someone that might want to do a high rocks, something like that. But depending how specific it is, that might be where I pass them on to someone that's more professional in there. So if I believe I can help them to best of my ability, then I'll certainly do it. Something like running your first half marathon, brilliant. I can definitely help you get there. But if you're like, you know what, I want to beat my record time marathon and run the best marathon I've ever ran, that's probably not my expertise. So I then pass them on to maybe a running coach. So whilst I'm on the call with someone, seeing if I'm a good fit for them, I also want to make sure they're a good fit for me, because I don't want them to waste their money and time not getting the result they want. So I'm always sort of open and honest about things. And I do know other people that I can refer them to.
I was going to say, do you work with then other local coaches and people that specialise in those kinds of targets?
From building up the online business especially, I attend, this Saturday I was actually at a coaching seminar with my coach. So I have a coach myself, and he coaches coaches. So he's a head of education at the coaching course I was on. So he just helps coaches become even more advanced. And we all met up. I think there's about 15 of us all together for the day, just sharing knowledge, sharing information. And most of us have different specialties. So, I've got loads of people I can pass people on to, and I'm sure they'll do the same for me as well.
Yeah, I think that's quite refreshing, because I think you get a lot of people, it's every world. I get it in the social media world where people are, and they're social media experts and they're putting stuff out there, but they don't get the results for themselves. And I find that and I'm guessing it's the same for PTs as well. You'll get PTs out there that are just like, I can help you do that.
Yeah.
And like you say, with everyone, it has to be the right fit both ways as well. Because I have it with that. I can come to you and go, right, I want to lose weight, I want to do this. And I can give it all the big one on the weekly calls, but clearly from my results, I'm not actually doing it. And it's like, well, surely you must have a magic wand to make me.
So this is where I have, we use daily habit trackers. So we'll probably start off simply, just tracking something like your weight on a daily basis, your calories, your macros, and maybe your step count. And we can add as much to or take as much from that as we like. And at the end of each week, I can then put all that information to graphs. I can look at it and I can compare it to last week's and set us a plan for the next week. So if I think, okay, progress has slowed down, it means we need to manipulate the program somewhere. It also could be maybe an adherence issue. So I need to ensure that people are adhering to the program. And it may be that that's just not what works for them. So this is why we have weekly reviews, and also keep in contact with the clients during the week as well. Just to, any struggles, contact me. We'll break it down this way. But this is where the check-ins going really well. So I usually send it in like a video format so they can see me going through all the information. We also go through things like progress photos and other metrics just to make sure we're staying on track.
Yeah.
And it's, weight, especially weight loss itself. A lot of people think when you lose weight, it's just going to be a straight sort of down line. It's definitely not. Most of the time, it's a jagged line all the way down. You're going to have weight fluctuations. But one of the reasons I'll get my clients to weigh themselves on a daily basis is so we can recognize them fluctuations and maybe start seeing what's caused them. So it becomes part of the norm rather than them weighing themselves one day and going, oh my God, I've put on 0.2 of a kilo.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's, it happens. It could be down to a number of things.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's important because it's the why you're doing it as well. Because I think some people, and you see coaches out there going, oh, throw out the scale. So I don't weigh myself because I know to me that doesn't work very well. But I'll do the progress photos and I'll get the tape measure out because that's what works for me.
So exactly. So if someone says to me, I've got a bad relationship with scales, don't weigh myself, that's fine. You don't have to do that. I get certain people that some clients track food, some people don't have a good relationship with tracking food. So there's always alternative methods we have. Obviously, as coaches, we all have our preferred methods, but they don't work for everyone. Very rarely you're ever going to find two people that are going to work exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So,
and how does it work with the gym side of things? If someone can't, obviously, because online you can coach anyone from anywhere in the world, can't you? So how does it work if I am not round the corner, I'm further away? So how do you give the programs? Is this stuff I can do from home, or is
so I've had
I
great.
don't like gyms.
No, that's fine. We get a lot of people like this. So I've had people start off on home workouts.
Yeah.
Some of them, if you've got no equipment at home whatsoever, we've had good results with that as well. I actually had a lad come to me and he said, I've got my wedding coming up. I'd like to get in shape. I was like, when's your wedding? He said 5 weeks.
Is that the guy who's got pictures on?
Yeah.
Got pictures
and I was like, 5 weeks.
We'll link everything in the show notes, but you have to go and look at the pictures. They're amazing.
No, he's got a wedding in 5 weeks. He's got no equipment at home. He's got no gym membership. So we purely did just home workouts around body weight and a bit of running. Yeah. And I can't remember the exact weight he dropped, but he got in really good shape in 5 weeks. And one of the other main things was nutrition. It's surprising how people think if you go to the gym, you're just going to lose weight or build muscle. But actually, a massive percentage of it is your nutrition. Yeah. And I've sort of gone sidetracked here. I forgot what we were originally talking about now.
Carry on.
Where were we at?
It was about using if you don't like gyms.
Yeah. So, you can either do home workouts. And what a lot of people find is once they start getting the confidence up with home workouts, they might then also want to go to the gym. But the way I prescribe the workouts, what I'll get you guys to do online is some assessments. So I'll send you over some videos of me doing some mobility assessments so you can assess the mobility of your body. And this is where I can say, okay, well, this exercise will be fit for them or this exercise won't be fit for them. Because the last thing I want someone doing is trying to do an exercise that's going to aggravate part of their body. Because when you're in person, it's easy to say, oh, raise this arm, raise that arm. So we do that. And obviously, every exercise I set, there's also a video that comes with it of how to do it. So that can also give people that bit of confidence. Because if you've seen that, okay, this is how to do it, and I'm doing it right, rather than going in the gym and going, am I doing this right? And if people have got the confidence, I say to them, film yourself doing at least 2 exercises a week or more, send them to me in the check-in. I will assess them and I'll feed you back on them and how you can improve them. Because I film myself working out and I assess that and there's still improvements I can make. Yeah. So the amount of time I've been doing it, if I can still do it, then they can as well. But I've actually started a new method this week as well. It's going to be the first time I've done this. I've got some clients that aren't keen on filming themselves in the gym, which I fully understand because I've got my own gym. It's easy for me. But you can feel like a bit silly having a tripod in a gym. So I do a community call once a week. So every week we do a different subject. So I might say to the guys, right, this week on Wednesday, we're going to do a community call all about sleep. And I'll do a presentation on sleep. We'll go through it. Any questions at the end, we'll cover. So this week I'm setting up my phone in my gym and I'm doing my Zoom from my gym. And I've asked each of my clients to provide me with a minimum of 1 exercise that they either struggle with or that they'd like to improve their form on. And I'm then going to do a live hour stream on my Zoom as a community call and go through them exercises with them live on the call. So they can physically see me doing them and I can point out what's going right and what's going wrong throughout them exercises. Yeah. So that way, if I do that every 2 or 3 weeks, they won't have to film themselves. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
I was sort of looking at, because I was getting a lot of clients not sending me the videos, and I'm sort of saying, look, guys, food diary is brilliant. They always send me these snapshots of food diaries, and I'm like, okay, I can assess nutrition. We can make this better for protein, this for carbs, this for fat. I'd recommend maybe this instead of this. But if I can't see what exercise you're doing, it can be hard online. So I found that by doing this, all of a sudden, from them all going, oh no, our exercises are good. They've all come out the box here with all these exercises that we're looking into. I'm like, guys, this is great, because now we're going to do this every couple of weeks. And just because I've assessed an exercise doesn't mean I can't reassess it in 2 weeks, because you might still need further tweaks. So that's just the way I'm going to try this week. And I think it's going to be a way around people not filming themselves.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's that, because I would feel comfortable. I'm a bad example, but I can see why people wouldn't feel comfortable filming themselves. Because also, like, as well, people don't like to be told they're wrong. So you're wrong, and you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
But I think also when you're doing exercises, it's how you feel. It's like, right, can you feel it here?
Yeah.
And it's like the top of the leg. Okay, you know that's our thigh. But if you use the muscle word, whatever it's called,
Your quadricep.
that one, I'd be like, can you feel it in there? I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, also with gym culture these days, some gyms have banned it altogether.
Yeah,
which I don't blame them, because sometimes it can be used in a negative way to poke fun at people, which I don't think should ever be done. But I think the way we got here, I'd happily do this once a week if that helps my clients. I'd happily set that aside. So I think it's going to be a really good thing going forwards.
Yeah.
And if there ever is a client struggling with anything specific, I'm always free to jump on a call with them anyway, and we'll talk through it then.
Yeah.
So.
But you know yourself, don't you? It's like press ups are my key one. I know when I'm just doing that. I know, but I'm getting nothing from it. I'm not feeling it. But I know how I can do it properly with my bum down, my legs out, not on my knees, that I can actually get more out of it. I go through phases with pull ups because I've got a bar.
Yeah.
And I'm determined one day I'm going to get to be able to do 10 pull ups. But even that, it's, well, where should I feel it? Should I have my hands this way or that way? And then you feel like you're asking stupid questions, and that stops a lot of people. So I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, there's also that age I said, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
No.
And there's not, because even sometimes I have questions like for my coach, and I think to myself, should I know this or should I not? But if you don't know it, you're never going to get better unless you ask about it. This is why I'm so keen on working with other coaches, because I've always said the best way to get better at something is to work with people better than you. So I try and surround myself with coaches that have got more knowledge than me. Yeah. So that way, rather than pretending I know it all, I can actually learn to know it all. I'd like to be that guy that, people come to and that, this guy knows what he's on about, rather than just, like I say, giving you a workout plan and a nutrition plan and saying get on with it, which it does come around in some places.
Do you think that comes a lot from your military background?
I think so, yeah, definitely. I think the military definitely helped me out. I wasn't the best behaved person before I joined. And when I left, it definitely changed me. And I think my work ethic is there. And I like to be busy. I don't like to not do anything. Like when I was as I'm still doing my engineering, on my 4 days off, I was sort of like finding myself, what am I doing myself? I wasn't really doing anything, obviously, before I had kids as well. So I thought, well, if we're going to fill that time, I might as well fill it with something productive. Yeah. And I was already obviously doing my PT qualifications, and I thought, it gives me something to work towards, something to build on, something to give me a bit of sort of self-worth and be passionate about. And then hopefully eventually that will become my career, and maybe I can pass it on to my sons one day. Yeah. As you might have seen, my lad loves coming to the gym with me. He's free.
They are the cutest videos. I mean, obviously I watch them for the PT stuff, but...
Yeah, so one's 3 and one's 3 months. So the 3-month-old's not there yet, but he'll get there. I'm sure soon all 3 of us will be in there together. So that would be good fun.
So just touching on that, because we started off talking about how your life is. So how do you just talk us through? Because I don't know if you do. How do you sleep? So you said about doing a presentation on sleep, but you've got obviously a shift pattern, but 48-hour week job. Obviously, an amazing wife, quite clearly. 2 little ones, and you're doing a PT vision. What's your routine?
I kind of contradict when I talk about sleep. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not a great example of that, because my sleep pattern doesn't exist. I did shifts in the military, and I've done shifts the last 8 years. So I've not had a proper sleep pattern in a long time. I've recently had a month off paternity, and it's
your sleep
the best sleep
as well.
Yeah. So the way I run it is I do two 12-hour day shifts, 2 12-hour night shifts, and then 4 days off. So I work my week on an 8-day week. So on my 2 day shifts, I tend to give myself them 2 days off of the business. Whereas on my 2 night shifts, I'll work before both my night shifts and I'll work on my 4 days off. Sometimes I have to work after my day shifts because my days move along one day each week. So one day I work Monday, Thursday, then Tuesday, Friday, then Wednesday, Saturday. And I always do my client feedback on their check-ins on a Sunday because that's usually my freest day. Whereas if I've just done a 12-hour shift on a Sunday, I've then got to come home and do all my client check-ins as well. But I try and leave them 2 days free. But the good thing about working the nights is like before the first night, I can work 9 till 5 in the day on the business. But then I will go and do a 12-hour night shift afterwards. I'll probably then get up about midday, work on the business that afternoon, do a 12-hour night shift. And then when I wake up midday the next day, that gives me sort of 3.5 days to really get the main bulk of the bits done.
Yeah.
But, a lot of good thing is about having phones out these days is any sort of generic questions or catching up with the clients, I can just do throughout the day anyway on my phone. It's only really like the main bulk of the work that I need to get done on my sort of days off to ensure it's done to the standard I want.
And then what about family? Because clearly your wife must be very supportive.
Yeah, I struggle sometimes, but like sometimes I try and get at least 1 day a week, full day of the week with the kids if I can. I just make sure that any time I spend with them is quality time. It's like yesterday, I had a very busy day yesterday, but I knew my wife was going for a walk in the countryside and going for a coffee. And I was like, well, I would rather go and do that, take the hit and just work till late at night once they've gone to bed. So I always try and do like nursery runs, dinner times, bedtimes as much as I can because I am aware of how quickly they grow up and I really don't want to miss that. But also I try and plan my weeks in advance. So if I say, this week we're both off, we're going to go out with the kids that day, I'll get up extra early to work beforehand and I'll stay up extra late to work afterwards and try and make up for it in the week, so a bit like sort of clients do with fitting their workouts in and their nutrition in. I have to try and fit my family time in where I can. And I make sure I do because it's very important to me. So. And
you do work out and do your own nutrition as well. So
yes, I still go to the gym 4 times a week as well. So that's another 4 hours out of my week, and I do some cardio as well. Obviously, I'm quite lucky because my gym is at my house, so I can go anytime I want, which is ideal for me. So I haven't got to worry about that. But yeah, so after this podcast, I'll be going to the gym and then back to work. So be working today and tomorrow, and then back to work on Wednesday.
But again, it's kind of that military background as well for you to have those set. Like, do you use a calendar and set time blocks? Or
yeah, I do. I plan it all out. I've got a diary. I never used to have a diary. Now my diary, everything I do, I put in there because otherwise, there's so much going on. I don't want to miss it, and I tend to set out work blocks as well. So I'll say, I've got like an hour of trying to get some content in here. I've got 2 hours of doing check-ins here. I've got like 2 hours of client programming here. And every day, the night before, I'll make sure that I'll double check it. I'll try and plan it at the start of the week, but every day the night before, I'll try and double check it, see if there's anything that needs moving around, see what I can fit in to the best I can.
Yeah. And are you able to switch off from social media?
Yeah, what I never used to. What I try and do now is in the evenings, I have actually got an app blocker that I've tried using, and it is handy. So like after a certain time, you can set like your Instagram to be locked or your WhatsApp to be locked, because I did find that sometimes I was up to like 11, 12 at night and I was still messaging clients back, and then it doesn't help you sleep. So I try and sort of switch off about 8 or 9 at night, and then me and my wife just have like an hour downtime, bit of a chill, and then I get to bed and try and avoid sort of any screen time before bed, as I tell my clients to. So
because I think it is really easy for us all to, and the same as I was met a new client the other day starting a business, and they wanted all the advice, and obviously I was giving them advice of what my mistakes and I learned from, but also there was a couple of times I noticed I was saying, like you said about the sleep, with right, I'm going to tell you this, I don't actually do it, but then like the team take the mick out of me because I've even got my sleep in my diary. So my phone goes on do not disturb at 7 p.m, so all my clients know you're not gonna, and you have to ring me several times to smash through that, which none of them do,
I think you have to have that. And I mean, what I sometimes say to my clients is, look, I've got a welcome video that I always send to them and go through with them prior to them starting, so they know my expectations of them and their expectations of me. And I sort of say to them, if I don't reply to you, I'm not ignoring you. It's just I do need some time to myself as well, and I'll get back to you at my soonest availability. Also with that though, I do say to you that if it's urgent, start the message with the word urgent. And if I see it pop up, I will get back to you and help you, because I understand that some things are more important than others. But at the same time, I found that at the start of this journey, I was not switching off at all. And it does get a bit much sometimes. So you just got to try and regulate the best you can, really.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
a lot
quite
better with
easy
it
to
now.
burn out as well, I think, from things like that.
Yeah.
Because you're on it all the time, and you can't be on it all the time. But
Yeah.
then I am that person. I'm at that age at 21, and where if you text me at 8 at night, I will reply at 5:30 the next morning, because I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
So that's when I work out and get organised and sort my life out. So that's a good. I find that. Once same, I've told all my friends know that, everyone knows that, so it's not that expectation of, oh, they're not replying to me, why haven't they replied to me?
I am a morning person. I love being a morning person, but unfortunately with the shifts it doesn't work that way.
No.
So if it was up to me, I'd be like you. If I was on a normal day pattern, I'd be up at like 5 o'clock every day, because I think the amount of stuff you can get done before breakfast is amazing. Whereas, when I've had a night shift, I'm my own worst enemy, because I'll get to bed at 7 a.m. and I know I need to be getting at least 6 hours sleep. And my eye might open or something slightly at 11 o'clock, and my brain just goes, but you could be doing this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, that's me awake.
Yeah.
And then I realise I'm running on 4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And then after the second night shift, I realise I've had about 7 hours sleep in 2 days. Then I spend 3 days recovering, and I'm back at work again.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious cycle, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. At the moment, it's helpful for me having they go hand in hand, and without my other job, I wouldn't have been able to set up my business.
Yeah.
So it's funded me to do that. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing when you're starting a new business. Without that, you wouldn't have been able to start doing what you're doing as well. Yeah. And I think everyone assumes that when you start a business, all of a sudden there's this like pot of gold somewhere. Yeah. It's like, oh, here you go. Like, to start a business, it's not as simple as that.
It's the opposite, isn't it? I mean, this is why part of the reason I came to you guys as well. I have no clue about starting up a business. That's why I went with this coaching company as well, because you have got to spend money to make money. If you're not willing to spend any money, you're probably not going to make any. I mean, in some circumstances, you probably can.
Yeah.
But I've come to terms to realise how expensive it is, and certainly without another income, I wouldn't be where I am now, because you think you've got everything, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I need this, and I now need this, and now this is broken, or actually this isn't as good, so I need to upgrade to this. For instance, like my laptop. All of a sudden I was like, my laptop, I had a Chromebook, and I was doing everything off a Chromebook, and then it just couldn't keep up. Yeah. And I was like, oh God, now I need to spend a laptop. And one of my friends is quite hot on computers, and I said, what's the best sort of laptop I can get that does this and this without spending stupid money? And he's like, well, probably look at least 600 quid. And I'm like, well, that's another 600 quid to put on there. Yeah. And obviously, there's ways of claiming certain things back, and that with being self-employed. But it's definitely an expensive startup cost. Yeah.
But it's also doing it right as well, and it's you get out of it what you put into it, because like you say, you've spoken to the right people that know with doing your qualifications, your courses, and also a business course as well, is that it's then learning from, like you say, from all other people, because I think otherwise I've had people come in and they've done it the bare minimum, and then they're not happy with it, or they don't want to put something out there because it's just not that standard that they want. And
when you got your own business, you're representing you and your brand. Like, the last thing I'd want is for my brand to look tacky, or it not to be true to myself. So I want it to be obviously the best version it can be. And this is why I always emphasize with my clients, like, I love good feedback. Everyone loves good feedback, but I prefer bad feedback, or positive. What's what I'm looking for? Constructive feedback.
Criticism.
Because that way I'm not going to get better unless someone says to me that's not very good.
Yeah.
So I always open. If someone says to me, I think this could be better, or I don't think the way it is very good, I welcome that, because then I know that, well, now I can make it better.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just say to me, oh, that's brilliant, I'll be like, oh, well, there's no need to change that. So I enjoy the constructive criticism. You've got to learn to have thick skin as well, I think, starting a business.
You do.
Because,
yeah. I was talking to a new business in the village at the weekend, and we were saying about how people in the village like to come in, and they will tell you exactly what they think of your business and you. Exactly. I think my favourite one was when I had someone come in, and I tend to live and look like this daily, but it was a nice sunny day, so I wore a dress. So what did I get? Oh, you're pregnant. No, I'm not pregnant. I've just had a big lunch. No. you're having me on. Look at your belly. You must be pregnant.
No.
Yes, not. Let's not push it now. Definitely not pregnant. So yeah, I've lived in a hoodie ever since. No, I haven't.
That's quite bullshit for someone to say that, you know.
But that's like the extreme of people. And it's the same on social media as well. You'll find the more popular your posts get, the more, and even if you go viral, that's when some of the unnecessary criticism comes in as well, because there are always jealous people, there are always people envious, they want what you have, but it's just finding that balance. So whilst constructive criticism, same, absolutely amazing, because you're not going to improve yourself, there's the other end of the scale that thinks I'm pregnant.
Well, I don't think you look like that. So, but yeah, the thing is with social media as well, it's very easy to write something on a screen, isn't it? You know, it's different. It's different saying something to someone face to face, and it's just typing something. And I think this is something that's got to be recognised to a certain extent. But luckily, I've not really had much of that so far. I'm sure my time will come, but we'll deal with it.
I'd like to think that's how you know you've made it on social media, when you start getting trolled. That's kind of where you want to get.
Maybe I've just not upset anyone yet.
Yeah, exactly. But also, it's important to note, because you had your professional photo shoot done, which you did a cut for. Is that the right terminology?
Yeah, cutting phase. You can use it as a cutting phase. So yeah.
And it's so it's important to note that's not what's the word? It's not AI. It's not edited.
No, it's nothing at all.
That is you, but that is you, which I think is really, really important to note. And this is me blowing smoke up your ass just because you're sat there. But you managed to look like that and do that with 2 kids, with a path, with a full-time job.
I'd had 1 kid at the time of the photo shoot, so that was in September, and my second one came along in November, so we were expecting them. So
your wife was pregnant. So
my wife was
looking
pregnant.
After her.
Yeah, wife was pregnant. I was running 48 hours a week engineering. I was starting up a business. So I had a kid. I was doing 2 courses, so I was very busy. But one reason I wanted to do it was, to prove to myself I could do it, but also to prove to other people I can do it, because I wouldn't expect anyone to do anything that I wasn't willing to do myself.
Yeah.
And also to help inspire people. I've got a client at the moment. Actually, he started off doing home workouts. He did just home workouts for 3 months, did really, really well with it. Decided he wanted to do another 3 months and do a photo shoot. So on the 12th of March, I've got my first client that's going for his photo shoot.
Amazing.
Same photographer, same gym as I was at. He's in great shape. I can't wait to see the results. Obviously, I want to say it's not realistic to look like that 24/7. I don't look like that at the moment. Obviously, that you're training for a specific outcome. I was training to get as minimal body fat as possible. Yeah, of course, I could survive at that level if I wanted to, but I probably wouldn't enjoy eating those calories and living that lifestyle all year round. It's just not realistic. So I did that to prove that I could do it. Also on the day, you get the tan because it helps to bring out the definition.
Yeah.
You've also got the lighting, there's a bit of oil involved as well, so the light reflects off you properly. So you're in the perfect setting. Like, you'll probably notice sometimes you look in the mirror in one room, you look great. You look in the mirror in another room, you're like, hang on, I look better than that in the other room. So you go back
and stand in that one.
That is how it goes. It's a lot to do with lighting and stuff. So,
it's like in changing rooms.
When you see a photo like that,
we're changing rooms.
It is, it is a real photo, no editing at all. Yeah. But that's not how you're going to see me walking down the street every day. I've also now got into a gaming phase.
You mean you wear clothes?
I will, yeah, and that I do sometimes, yeah. But
that was just a sneaky comment to get everyone rushing to your social media at that point.
I'm also currently in the gaining phase at the moment, so I'm trying to put on muscle at the moment, and it's very hard to put on muscle without putting on any fat at all.
Yeah.
So my body fat percentage has gone up a bit, but what I'm trying to do is build myself up, get as much sort of size and strength for me as I can, and then another year or two, I'll do another photo shoot just to see how far I've come since the last one.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a really enjoyable experience, and it's all about the delayed gratification. A lot of people want instant gratification these days, but I found the sense of achievement, and how proud you are of achieving that, and the delayed gratification. You just feel great afterwards.
Yeah.
And obviously, you look great as well. It's a good place to get to and just say you've done it, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's really important because you're really good on your social media to have like, this is what I'm doing, and whether it's on a story or you've done a reel, it's what I'm doing now. The kids are obviously in the gym as well, and it's just having that family life and that balance to know where you're at and being really real and honest with you. Because I think so many people, and I've done it myself, you go down a hole of seeing like those professional pictures and you're like, oh, I'm never going to look like that, or it can do the opposite to people. So it's nice to have that, see that balance of like, no, this is real life. This is
so that's what I think a lot. It's a lot of the thing with social media these days. People look at people like that. And, you know, you do get a lot of people on, you know, certain performance enhancing drugs these days and that as well. I definitely have never touched any of them, but you look at someone and social media says that's how you should look, where it's not, you know. And I probably haven't done as much of it as I should have done, but I do want to do a bit more realistic posting, updates of my physique showing, you know, I got to that point, but I'm not like that now, you know, but I can certainly get back to it again if I want to.
Yeah.
But I always like to have something to work towards, some sort of challenge. You know, I've done Tough Mudders, I've done nuclear races, I've done half marathons. And actually, this time next week, I will be in the middle of doing the Welsh Three Peaks.
Nice.
So in 2023, we did the national Three Peaks over 3 days, did one a day. And this year, I wanted to do them in 24 hours, which is the big challenge. We haven't quite got to that stage yet, but for a warm-up, I was actually going to be doing Snowdon. One of my friends dropped out, and I said, well, you know what, I'm still going to do it, but I might as well do all 3 of them in 24 hours.
Why not? Just throw some more in.
You know, if I'm driving 5 hours, I might as well do something exciting. So we're doing, I'm going to drive up on Sunday. On the Monday, I'll be doing Snowdon. Forgive me if I pronounce these wrong, but Cader Idris and Penny Fan. So I'm going to be doing all 3 of them in the 24-hour slot.
Nice.
I'm very confident we're going to do it. Obviously, you never know what you're going to run into, but it's me and one of my friends. He's actually also a client of mine, ex-military as well. We served together in the military. Is how we met. So, we've got a good relationship going. Spent a lot of time serving together, and he's a great client of mine. So that should be really exciting.
And that's just the 2 of you doing it? You're
just
not
2 of us, yeah.
Charity or fundraising?
No charity, nothing, just because
It's your challenge of what you want.
I just wanted something to do, really. I've got a week off work, and I was going to do Snowdon because my friend, I was actually Scott, I'd never done it before, but now he's left me to go skiing for a week. So I know, very rude. So my other friend instead, we're just going to do the Three Peaks. He actually, he's done a lot for charity himself. He did 12 mountains in 12 months this year. So he did a mountain a month for 12 months to raise money for one of his charities. And he's done a lot of other charity work in the past. But this one here is actually just for our own sort of freedom, getting out. We both love hiking, but unfortunately, this area of the country does not have a lot of hiking places. No. So I usually tend to go up and stay with him. He's up in Liverpool, and we sort of go from his base.
Oh. So. Well, I did the Yorkshire Three Peaks last.
How was that?
So it was good. Yeah, really good. So Liam and I did it, and it was it was really, really good. Yeah, it's definitely, and you've got to do it. I didn't know it was a thing. But you meant to do it under 12 hours.
I'll say, yeah.
So we didn't quite manage that. But,
no. If you didn't know about it, you got nothing to train for, have you?
Yeah.
So I didn't even realise the Welsh Three Peaks was the thing, really.
I've not. No.
I saw Snowdon and went, well, what can I do that's more challenging at Snowdon? I was going to do the hardest route. But then I thought, well, I want to make the most of it. And I saw the Welsh Three Peaks, thought, you know, why not? Let's give it a go.
So what's after that? What's your next challenge? Is it the weight gain and do 2 year?
Yeah, that's just sort of my physique sort of base goal. I'm in a gaining phase. I really enjoy sort of resistance training and lifting weights is what I enjoy. So that's just what I'll be doing anyway. But I'll set other challenges along the way. One thing I want to do is, again, with my clients, we have weekly community calls, but we also have community events. So when the weather's a bit better, we were sort of doing like community bike rides or community gatherings. It can be things like walks, bike rides, meeting for a coffee. But also every sort of quarter, I want to try and do a challenge. So I'm looking at maybe doing a Tough Mudder, but with my clients. So getting everyone together as a team. We'll all work together as a team. Some people are going to be better than others, but we'll always go at the slowest person's pace and drag each other around as a team. So I'll probably be looking more at a group-based event next.
Nice.
And the National Three Peaks in 24 hours is still there. So we just the main thing we've got to do really is find a driver, because it's got to be about 10 hours worth of driving, which is probably the downfall of the whole things if you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
So last time was just to gauge the mountains. So I did them at sort of an average pace. And I was like, you know what, I'm confident if I don't hit traffic, I can do these in 24 hours as well. So that possibly this year, yeah,
Nice.
hopefully.
My dad's was always a classic. He told everyone he'd done the Three Peaks like
Yeah.
a couple of times as the driver.
Ah.
So he was a 60 a day B&H man. So he was never walking nowhere. But they're like, yeah, I was part of the team. I did the Three Peaks. You're like, no, you didn't. But he was the driver. He really liked driving. So
Everyone needs a driver.
exactly.
They do recommend not doing it yourself, obviously, because
Yeah.
you're going to be exhausted and it's probably not safe. But yeah, we might have a few candidates hopefully. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So what's next? That's obviously some goals and bits and pieces. So what's the next plan?
So sort of for the business,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, at the moment, I've sort of been sitting around a certain number of clients, and as of this sort of month, now I'm a year in, I feel like my work capability has increased, and I'm able to deal with more, and I'm quite comfortable. And now I've got all my systems in place, and I'm in more of a routine with things. I'm ready to expand a bit more.
I was going to say, is that the processes you've put in? So you just
yeah. So I've made a lot of, especially my online stuff, automated, just to help me out. Obviously, all my stuff for the clients is me, and I take the time for them. But there's a lot of certain systems and things you can do automated, and obviously, the more you do something, the quicker you get at it. So like my check-ins, sometimes I'd record them 4 or 5 times and spend like half an hour trying to get a check-in done. Now I'm pretty good at getting them done first time, and I've got them all planned in. I know what I need to do. I know the recording settings, what apps work and what don't. So I now think I'm ready to expand and take on more clients. So I'm actually going to be putting an offer out this week to celebrate sort of a year of the business and me turning 35 in a few weeks. So yeah, hopefully people keep an eye out for that, and hoping to bring in some more clients, expand and help as many people as I can. Because the main reason I got into this is, I've always enjoyed helping people, and I genuinely want to help people. I don't just want them to come, give me the money, do a workout for 3 months, whatever, and go. I want them to leave me knowing that they've improved their life in some way. And another thing about that is I tell people it's not all about scale weight.
Yeah.
If you're going somewhere and you're like, oh, the scales aren't going down, if you're feeling more confident, if you're feeling healthier, if you're feeling better in yourself and your life's improved in some way, then that's a win. It's not all about the scales.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I try and tell people: as long as your life's improving in some way, then you're doing something right. Anything's better than nothing.
It's like you said, the word holistic at the beginning, and you're talking to people about their sleep. They're talking about doing group bits and pieces. I listened to a podcast by Dr. Chatterjee. If you ever listened to his, and I was listening to one on burnout today, and he's a doctor that looks at different things. It's not just, here's a prescription sort of thing. And one of the things he gave a couple of case studies on burnout. And one guy, he just said, right, just start meeting up with your mates once a week. So he started meeting up for coffee, and then they started a 5-side football team every Wednesday. And it was just that overall mental health, well-being. So it's not just like you say, oh, well, here, make sure you eat some lettuce and do this workout.
Oh, definitely,
it's everything else that comes with it. And I think that's like a key was part of your brand at the end of the day. It's that talking to other people, having that, it's not that you're dealing even with your clients on a one-to-one, it's the community side of things as well.
So socializing is so important as well. It's a lot of people, it's easy to stay cooped up indoors now with all the social media interaction you can have with people. So I definitely recommend socializing, and it's just something, again, it's not that you can't do it if you're in a dieting phase, something like that. It's just a case of maybe looking up the menu before you go, planning your meals around that, being sensible with what you eat. It's just when you've got a plan in place, it's things just, once you get in the routine of it as well, things do just become easier. And obviously without an awareness and that, and without the knowledge, it's hard to know what you can do. So ideally, when a client's finished with me, I want them to have the skills to maintain what they've been doing for the rest of their life. I'd hate for someone to see them in a couple of months down the line and they say, I've undone everything we've done. Now I've given you them tools and given you them skills, you're not able to go off and do this by yourself. Of course, if you've got a new goal or want to advance with something else, I'm always here to help you. I'd never, not talk to an old client or anything, but that's part of the thing. It's more, rather than thinking of it as just losing weight, it's an investment in yourself. Once you've learned them skills, you're not going to forget them, are you?
No.
So it's it's a good investment to make in yourself,
No.
especially with, you know, how hot everyone is on health and sort of lifestyle these days. It's becoming ever more popular.
Yeah.
I know certainly when I left school, but I don't think the gym was even a thing.
No, no, it wasn't.
I don't like.
It's almost
You know.
crept up on us, and now there's, if you
Yeah.
look at how many gyms there are just around this area, you just, it's
Well,
like
yeah,
everywhere.
I mean, now I think kids going to the gym at school sort of thing. When I was at school, it was like the gym was just like some corner of the room over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know we've got that Pure Gym's coming to Sudbury now.
Yeah.
In I think August.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. So that's another one. So I think we've got quite a few building up now.
And what's your views on that? Because that's it's a value gym, shall we use the word?
So yeah, it's, you know,
I don't know anything about it.
I've been to a Pure Gym a few times. Obviously, like a commercial gym, they're a chain. I'm pretty sure they're 24 hours.
Yeah.
But it's a sort of gym where I think you can have a membership just for that one, or for a bit extra, you can have a membership and go to anyone in the country.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's never a bad idea having more gyms. I don't know how it's. Obviously, we want to support the local gyms and people that have set their own businesses up. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think the thing about them is they're quite cheap as well. So I know quite a few people that have already said, "Oh, you know, I'm looking forward to this Pure Gym. It's quite cheap to go to." So it's definitely going to put some competition out there. But we'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes.
I think it's always interesting. It's like why we've got Aldi and Waitrose sort of thing. It's a lot of people, what I've read up on what it will be like, and it depends obviously how people are there and they're respecting the equipment and how it's left. And because when I have had my flirt with gyms in the past, and just it's not a me thing, but when you're stood there going, right, I've got my workout, I know what I'm doing, and then there's someone for half an hour on the same bit of equipment, and you're like, oh well, that's a workout. It's what it's like with anything. It's what gym suits you and the lifestyle of what you're used to. Isn't
that's the luxury of having your own gym. I don't get that problem anymore. Obviously, you've got to pick your timings. You know, if you're going to the gym sort of any time between 4 and 7. From when I used to go to gyms, that's usually peak time and it's busy. If you're willing to go in the morning or later at night, that's probably a good time to go. But also with workouts, you know, there's always something else you can do. So there's probably a similar exercise you can do to that's going to work the same muscle group, or you can restructure your workout, you know, put them in a different order. But I understand how frustrating it can be if there's a group of people on a piece of kit that you can't get to. Yeah, but sometimes, you know, if it's a good gym, you should just be able to go over and say, excuse me, you know, can I hop on? Do you mind me joining in with this? You know, the gym culture is good, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you've just gone way above my knowledge. I'm just like, no, this is what it says. I can't go outside of this.
Well, I had a client the other week. They said to me, "Oh, this machine is always busy in the gym. I can never get on it. Can we change it up?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So we just picked a different machine in the gym and worked out the same exercise on that piece of equipment, and now it seems to be going well.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, sometimes you can't be helped. It's one of them.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's just knowing I would be that nightmare client of just like, right, I like this, I don't like this, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. I know you would be able to do that. No, just until...
So what we don't want you to do is walk in and go, well, these two machines are busy, we're just going to skip them too.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We'll try to avoid that part.
I'm just going to wander on the treadmill with my mate.
Yeah, you can wonder while you're waiting for it though, that's fine.
Well, yeah, true. So what's next? What are you looking for? So you have an offer going out for your birthday and the anniversary that you can sign up, and that's online. Is there anyone? Are you doing anything more one-to-one, or are you at your limit with that at the moment?
I was having people in one-to-ones, and I do still have the odd person around the gym, but I've sort of tried to limit it at the moment, just while I'm building the business up, because I am doing the engineering and have the kids alongside it.
I mean, you have no time.
It's hard to fit it all in, yeah. So. And I find that from the business side of things, my time is used more productively on the online business.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with one-to-one training, it's great. It is great. But say you've got one session a week, that's an hour a week to get that in. And after that hour, you'll see them again next week.
Yeah.
Whereas with online, it's a lot more than that. There's a lot more we can look at. There's a lot more ways we can help you, and there's a lot more involved.
Yeah.
So, and it's not for everyone. It's not. I've had a lot of people say, can we do one-to-one? I've said, at the moment I haven't got time. They've said, well, when you do, let me know and we'll come back to you then. I'm like, absolutely fine.
So you got a wait list?
Yeah. Well, I have got quite a few people. I hate having to say no to people, but I wouldn't want to say to them yes and then not able to put my time into my other clients. So going forwards, eventually, it may involve me going part-time engineering, so I can then put more time into my business, and then eventually possibly leaving it all together.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this sort of expansion goes. It's all sort of just playing it as it goes, really, because at the moment my wife's still on maternity leave. Obviously, with a mortgage and kids, it's a lot harder to make that jump because I would hate to leave them in a bad position.
Yeah.
So I've just got to play it as sensibly as I can, and that's why I will juggle the two jobs as long as possible. But certainly once I've got more time, the one-to-one will definitely be a thing, and I'm going to be pushing that a lot more. I mean, the gym is, I'll say, 99% finished. There's a few bits inside, like a bit of trim and a few bits of masticing, which is not a lot. It's still perfectly usable. And the outside still needs rendering. That's hopefully humming this year.
That's you picking at it.
Yes,
I'd turn up not notice any of that.
Inside it looks amazing, but then outside it looks like breeze block at the moment. So I'd like to get that rendered and painted, get a nice sign up, get it all looking pristine, so that the image paints what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sort of look half-assed, if you say, from the outside. But it's definitely on the cards, possibly this year, maybe next year.
Right.
It's we're just going to keep chipping away at it and seeing what we can do, really.
And do you have like a newsletter in it? Can people sign up to almost keep in touch?
I haven't at the moment.
Ready?
It's certainly something I'm aware of and have looked into. They're like, I've got a lot of things that I'd like to put in place. And it's just sort of implementing them slowly. But yeah, certainly I have built up an email list over time. And one thing on the list is to get sort of a weekly email out there to get some information across to people. But at the moment, my main place to come for me is my Instagram. Yeah. I do have Facebook, but that just posts on whatever I put on my Instagram. I don't actually use that. So my Instagram is my main platform.
Yeah.
So I try to push that out there.
Yeah.
I've got business cards I put out. I'm hopefully going to maybe get some flyers out, maybe in the local Cornide News or the Free Press, get a bit of information out, start expanding locally a bit more.
Yeah.
Because obviously online you've got a lot of a broader client base, but so far the larger percentage of my clients have been local based. Like they always say, first off it starts off as friends and family, and then friends of friends and family, and then word of mouth, and then it starts expanding to people. I have got people I didn't know beforehand, so that's good.
Awesome.
But it's just nice to see the client base getting broader. Yeah.
And if there's anyone listening who's like, I'm not sure if Karl's for me, is there a certain client or someone that you're like, oh right, your specialty, I suppose is what I'm trying to say, your target market?
Yeah, so I suppose one of the main specialties for me is weight loss and just improving your health and fitness lifestyle, as we say, taking a holistic approach, because a lot of people say they want to just start building muscle and that, but sometimes it's more beneficial to sort of strip back and sort of start from scratch, because as we said, putting on muscle, you're going to put on some body fat first. So I usually recommend to people, let's go for a quick dieting phase, let's get to a shape where we're happy, and we can go from there. But I'd say certainly men and women, that have got normal busy lifestyles, got kids or not got kids, that just want to improve any health and fitness aspects or weight loss of their life, then certainly have a look at my Instagram, see what you think. If you're interested, there's an application form you can fill on there, or you can just send me a DM. And all we'll jump on sort of like a non-obligatory call, just have a chat about your life, where you're at, where you'd like to get to, what I can do to help you. And if I'm not for you, fine, we've had a chat, but hopefully you will leave that call with some bit of information that's helped you in some way. Yeah. And then if you think, great, we get on well and I am for you, then brilliant. We'll set out a track, we'll work together, get a roadmap together and see what we can do.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
And good luck. I'm so excited for you.
We'll see where we are this time next year.
Yeah, it's like we've got our own James Smith in Sudbury.
We'll see.
Yeah.
See. So.
Well, thanks for listening. All of Karl's information will be in the show notes, so go and check him out on social media. That sounds really weird, and I've talked about you with top half, but literally check him out. But check his coaching out, and get in touch, definitely. Thanks.
Love it. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's been great.
There is so much more we can go through in terms of how to set up a business and what to do. But if you've got any questions, get in touch with us. We're always here to help, because honestly, we really, really hope this is all free information and it will really, really help someone set up a business and really live the life that they want to live, and give them the time and make the money that they need to make their business a success. So, as always, for a small business podcast, like and subscribe, because that massively helps us. Leave us a review, and as always, get in touch if you need us, because we're always here for you. Thanks for listening.